Police kill high-risk target in overnight firefight in St. Anne. A hail of gunfire shattered the pre-dawn silence in Top Hill District Content Garden, St. Anne, on Thursday morning, leaving one man dead, a cache of ammunition seized, and police declaring they have taken down what they call a high-risk target. His name has not been released. But the St. Anne police are not mincing words about the threat he allegedly posed. It began about 4:30 a.m., relying on the cover of darkness. A team of officers from the Area 2 and Area 5 fugitive apprehension teams, acting on intelligence, descended on the suspect's address in the quiet community. They carried one thing with them, a search warrant for illegal firearms. They knocked on the door of the man's apartment. Then, silence. Then, shuffling. According to preliminary reports, the officers heard movement inside. Suspicion turned to certainty. Something was wrong. The decision was made. They breached the door and entered. What happened next unfolded in seconds and in gun smoke. Police allege that the suspect opened fire on the officers. The police returned fire. In the violent exchange that followed, the man was struck. When the shooting stopped, the suspect lay wounded. Officers rushed him to the hospital, but it was too late. He was pronounced dead on arrival. Not a single member of the police team was injured. When investigators combed through the apartment, they made a chilling discovery: a Taurus 9mm pistol and 5 live rounds. But that wasn't all. On a bed inside the apartment, tucked away in a clear plastic bag, officers found 7 additional 9mm rounds, bringing the total ammunition recovered to a dozen rounds of lethal firepower. As dawn broke over Content Gardens, the scene was cordoned off and investigators went to work. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, is expected to review the shooting, as is standard in all police-involved fatalities. For now, the dead man remains unnamed, but police insist he was no ordinary citizen. High-risk target, they called him. And in the cold light of Thursday morning, with a Taurus pistol bagged as evidence and a dozen rounds off the street, one question echoes through Top Hill District. Who was he, and what was he planning? Welding activity at garage near Beryllium in Kingston may have contributed to explosion and fire. It is being theorized that welding activity at a garage near Beryllium in Kingston may have contributed to an explosion and fire that left 4 men severely burned. The incident also resulted in damage to some motor vehicles. Beryllium said it is providing support to the affected individuals. Fire Brigade Commissioner Stuart Beckford said the injured men had been taken to the hospital prior to the arrival of firefighters.
At approximately 8:57, the fire brigade was contacted and advised that there was an explosion at 127 South Camp Road. When we turned up there, we recognized that that facility houses the Beryllium security firm, and we were told that there was an explosion resulting in 4 males who were in close proximity to where the incident took place sustained injuries and were transported to the hospital before the arrival of the brigade.
Commissioner Beckford said investigations to determine the cause of the explosion and fire continue.
Our investigations revealed that approximately 5 vehicles were damaged in the explosion as a result of the explosion. 3 severely damaged, 1 partially, and 1 suffered some heat damage. Our investigations continue into the incident, but from observation and information gathered from persons on the ground, it would appear that there was welding activities taking place on one of those units when the explosion occurred. So we are working with the team from Beryllium to determine the cause of that explosion.
Police bust multi-million-dollar theft ring in Trelawney. In a dramatic takedown that has sent shockwaves through the criminal underworld, police say they have smashed an alleged multi-million-dollar theft ring blamed for a brazen string of coordinated attacks on businesses across Trelawney, with 5 men now facing serious charges. For nearly 5 months, investigators claim the accused men were the invisible hand behind a wave of terror that swept through the parish, leaving business owners counting losses and looking over their shoulders. But on April 11th, the operation came to a grinding halt. It unfolded like a scene from a crime thriller. Under the cover of daylight, police carried out a high-stakes operation and intercepted the men, catching them, lawmen say, red-handed with stolen items and stacks of cash in 4 different currencies: Jamaican, US, Canadian, and British. The arrests marked the end of a sprawling criminal enterprise that investigators say operated between December 2025 and April 2026, targeting establishments across Trelawney with military-like coordination. The haul consists of goods and cash reportedly worth more than $20 million. Behind bars tonight are 5 men from across 3 parishes: Cardell Williams, 47, of Mammy Bay, St. Anne; Decar Glover Lewis, 39, a shopkeeper of Windsor Road, St. Anne's Bay, St. Anne; Franlin Cross, 46, of Henlon Norwood, St. James; Omar Anthony Coleman, 33, of Coral Gardens, Montego Bay, St. James; and Randy Murray, 40, of Farm Pen, Westmoreland. All 5 have since been charged with being part of a criminal organization following intensive interviews with investigators. While the arrests mark a major victory for law enforcement, sources suggest the net may not yet be closed. Authorities are reportedly probing whether other individuals, including potential fences and financiers, played roles in the alleged conspiracy. For the business community of Trelawney, which has endured months of uncertainty and fear, the police operation offers a dramatic turning point. But as the men await their day in court, one question lingers: was this the head of the snake, or just one of its many coils? Chef killed, 6 injured in 2-vehicle crash on Park Main Road. A fatal crash on the Park Main Road has claimed the life of a 45-year-old chef following a collision involving 2 vehicles on Wednesday evening. The deceased has been identified as Rohan Wright, a resident of Fraser's District Newmarket in St. Elizabeth. Wright, who worked as a chef, succumbed to injuries sustained in the violent collision. The 2 vehicles collided with significant force, causing extensive damage to both units. Emergency personnel responded to the crash and reportedly had to remove both drivers from their vehicles after they became trapped beneath mangled metal following the impact. A total of 6 people, including the drivers of both vehicles, were transported to hospital for treatment. Medical staff at the Black River Hospital worked to save the injured, but Wright later succumbed to his injuries at the facility. The extent of injuries sustained by the other 5 individuals has not yet been disclosed. Police investigations into the crash are ongoing. Authorities have not yet released information regarding the possible cause of the collision, including whether speed, road conditions, or driver error may have played a role. Motorists are being advised to exercise caution on the Park Main Road as officials continue their inquiries. Further updates are expected as the investigation progresses and as authorities release additional details about the condition of the other crash victims. Decomposing body of woman found in St. Catherine bushes. Police in St. Catherine have launched an investigation following the gruesome discovery of the decomposing body of a woman in the parish on Wednesday. sparking shock and unease in the quiet community of Heartlands. The grim find was made about 11 a.m. when passers-by in a section of the Heartlands district stumbled upon the body lying motionless in bushes in the area. What they saw was enough to send chills through the community. A woman's remains already in an advanced state of decomposition. Lawmen were promptly summoned to the location. Upon arrival, they observed the body, estimated to be approximately 5 feet 6 inches in length, lying flat on its back. The advanced stage of decomposition suggested the woman may have been dead for some time before she was discovered. According to police reports, the woman was clad in black tights and a blouse, but was barefoot. No immediate signs of violence were reported at the scene, though authorities have not ruled out foul play. The scene was carefully processed by crime scene investigators before the body was removed for official identification and a post-mortem examination. The autopsy is expected to provide crucial answers, including the cause and approximate time of death. As of Wednesday evening, the woman had not been publicly identified. Authorities are appealing to anyone with information about missing persons in the area to come forward. The Spanish Town Criminal Investigation Branch is now probing the matter. Investigators are urging anyone who may have seen suspicious activity in the Heartlands district over the past several days or weeks to contact the nearest police station. As the search for answers continues, the community remains on edge, waiting to learn not only the identity of the deceased woman, but also the circumstances that led to her tragic and lonely end in the bushes of Heartlands.
Court grants injunction restraining bounty killer from defaming Mr. Vegas. The Supreme Court has intervened in an ongoing feud between two of dancehall's most prominent figures, granting an injunction that restrains entertainer Bounty Killer from making or publishing defamatory statements about fellow artiste Mr. Vegas, while a defamation lawsuit between the two remains before the court. The order was handed down on Wednesday during a hearing related to legal action brought by Mr. Vegas against the veteran DJ. According to reports from the proceedings, the court directed that Bounty Killer be restrained pending the outcome of the trial from referring to Mr. Vegas by name, photograph, or description in a manner that could damage his reputation. Attorney-at-law Alexander Shaw, who is representing Mr. Vegas, reportedly welcomed the ruling, arguing that the court's decision protects his client's reputation while maintaining the principle of freedom of expression. The balance struck by the court, Shaw suggested, ensures that one artist's right to speak does not override another's right to protect their good name. However, the court did not grant all the restrictions requested by Mr. Vegas and legal team. Attorneys representing Bounty Killer indicated that the injunction applies specifically to future defamatory publications as the matter moves through the legal system, meaning that the order is prospective rather than punitive regarding past statements. The case reportedly stems from social media activity earlier this year that allegedly affected Mr. Vegas's reputation both locally and internationally. While the specific comments have not been detailed in open court, the legal action underscores the growing trend of entertainers turning to litigation to resolve disputes that might once have been settled through music or mediation. Bounty Killer has denied the allegations, and his legal representatives are expected to challenge the claims during the trial. The veteran DJ, known for his outspoken persona and long-standing influence on the dancehall genre, has maintained his innocence throughout the preliminary proceedings. A date for the continuation of the matter is expected to be determined by the court. In the meantime, the injunction serves as a legal barrier against further provocative statements, forcing both parties to let the judicial process unfold rather than the court of public opinion. For the dancehall community, which has watched the rivalry between these two artists develop over the years, the case represents a significant moment where legal boundaries are being drawn around lyrical and online expression. As the matter proceeds, it may set important precedents for how defamation claims involving entertainers are handled in an age of instant social media communication.